Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside the man himself, the MVP, Super Bowl 21, Phil Simms. Big guy, always a pleasure. Quick little homework assignment, though, for me on the front end of this. Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back from the opening tip-off to buzzer beaters. BetOnline has you covered the best odds, the biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, live odds to bet on during the game. And it's not just the NBA. It's everything from the NFL to the NHL. They got you covered. Head to the website to get in on today's action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, Big Phil, we were doing a little pre-game or pre-show discussion.
Yes.
Big Phil said he wanted to talk about, this guy. It ended up, Big Phil wants to talk about essentially all 32 quarterbacks because he was impressed with how much he watched in the film this weekend. But here, let's start here.
All right.
I think with the best comeback performance really of the year for a QB that's kind of been through it all, and that is Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts and his performance against the New York Jets. What'd you think about Anthony Richardson, big guy?
Well, I think we're going to have a couple of those in this little session we're going to have. Somebody else too. But let me go over it. I wrote a lot of notes. I watched every play, and I give them checks. Whatever. It's way too much because all it does is confuse me, and I got too many things to say. All right, here we go. The runs, the physical part of his running game. Great job, I think, by the whole staff, the head coach. Let's get him some runs, get him into the game. But more importantly, they're important. I think it's going to be a big part of their offense as they go along. And when you play the Colts, you got a plan for this guy to run. And I think it was almost funny, right, Matt? When he ran against the Jets, I can almost feel it. That here comes the defenders that are going, I don't want to hit that. I really kind of felt that way. They just went, oh my God.
Right.
He is so damn big and fast. And so that's the first thing, the runs. His decision-making was awesome, I thought, in the game. And I thought the game plan and how they used it, look, he's not a guy that's going to be the 5 and 10 yard thrower. He's the 15 to 30 yard thrower. He wants to let it go. But his accuracy was really good. Mm-hmm. He was tough. I thought he had a little, personality to him. In other words, I could feel it like he was pissed about these last 2 weeks benching. Mm-hmm. Could see it in him as he played. And of course, what else are we going to say about the 2 drives at the end of the game to beat the Jets? And the Jets once again found a way to lose. But Anthony, I thought Anthony Richardson, I thought he just said it wasn't about the Jets losing. It was about him winning. So that's just kind of a capsule. But man, I think they found something. And I think it's, as I talk about these quarterbacks, I say it all, you and I say it all the time. You got to have some failure. You got to learn from it, and you got to toughen up. And that's what the league is about. And if you don't toughen up and mentally and physically and all those things, then you know what? You'll be looking for another job someday soon.
And that was our critique, right, of him with the tap out a few weeks ago, which kind of led to his obviously benching or situation where he is stepping away from the starting lineup, however you want to word it. He ends up being 20 of 30 in this football game for 272 and a touchdown, rushed 10 times for 32 yards and 2 touchdowns. But you're right. The physicality aspect of his running is really, I think, the biggest thing to note, especially in the low red zone area where that is an obvious threat and part of their offensive play design, which is so efficient. And just to, kind of encapsulate what you said as well, down 24-16 late in that football game, they go on an 8-play, 70-yard drive, take up about 3 minutes on the time of possession and make it 24-22. The Jets answer with a 13-play drive that takes up about 7 minutes of that football game. They kick a field goal at the end of it, make it 27-22. And then Richardson with the drive basically of his career with 6 plays, 70 yards, 155 with the touchdown to end it there at the end. And, that was what was pretty cool. And then, it's just a great story, I think, for all young QBs out there that adversity is part of being an NFL quarterback. Even when you are riding the highest of highs, just to know that, hey, the lows are coming. It's part of the game. Even Patrick Mahomes is going through that right now. As great as he is doing going through those same things. They're still finding ways to win, and that's the key, for this Colts team. They found a way to win. The Jets are jetsing as usual. And we saw in this football game reasons why we originally liked Anthony Richardson as a draft prospect, and why we like the combination of him and Steichen and what they can do offensively. And it's pretty cool to kind of see it all kind of come together, especially because Big Phil, you've mentioned this. You like Josh Downs, the young receiver from North Carolina. You like Alex Pierce, who you think is a very talented player. And, we already know Jonathan Taylor, how good he is. He really didn't do a whole lot in this football game. He was 24 carries for 57 yards, which is odd considering how much the Jets defense struggles defending the run at times this year. But Anthony Richardson able to complete the football at a high percentage and make some big plays too, keeping this team on track.
Yeah, I think the big thing is too, all this we said, I really like the fact that he threw footballs down the field and the ease in which he does it, but his accuracy and, I could almost hear the ball hitting the receiver's shoulder pads on TV as I'm watching the game.
Right. Yeah.
Damn, and it's like, how it is as a quarterback. It's like playing golf. When you do it right, it just feels great. And I could tell he threw some balls, and I just go, man, he got all of it. He just he crushed the throw, and he did a lot of those in those last two drives. And man, that has to make them feel good down there. The fact that they benched him, I agreed with that. Joe Flacco didn't play well in either one of those games, so they needed to bring him back in. And we saw a different guy. And I got to be honest, even though he struggled and the fact that they benched him, it really never took me off of what I think. I think this guy was worth the fourth pick. I think, of course, he is a project and all that. But to me, I don't care. It was still all worth it. I think we see the high. Now we just got to see that consistent. Doesn't have to be like he played against the Jets, but just consistent, playing the position the right way. And there's going to be days you can't hit the side of the barn, Matt, right? I mean, you just go, damn, what happened? And there's going to be days when you got it, you just go, man, I am hot. So there's going to be ups and downs, but I think like you said, great learning experience for him, and we'll see where it goes from here.
And that really is the question. The biggest thing for Anthony Richardson going forward is just his improvement in the short to intermediate touch passes, where someone is open in the flat or over the middle on shallow crosses, and just not using the normal whippy, strong motion that he throws for 15-yard in cuts, 20-yard in cuts, more of just the finesse throws that you see so many great quarterbacks do. And through repetition, hopefully with just, those reps and kind of fine-tuning his craft as a thrower, those things will improve. We're now going to move on to another young QB that Big Phil was impressed with, despite a loss in a football game here with a late field goal miss there to win this one. The Bears lose 20-19 to the Green Bay Packers, but Big Phil, you loved what you saw from Caleb Williams.
Yeah, a couple things. We had the Hail Mary that they lost and a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
And if both of those, which should have gone in favor of the Bears, what would we be saying? Oh, my gosh, playoffs, look out, here they come. Instead, it's a death march. Oh, my God. And I don't know what everybody was watching. I shouldn't say it. I didn't watch as much TV, thank God, this week. But Caleb Williams, again, he crushed it, Matt.
Yeah.
He got rid of the ball. He was accurate. He moved when he had to. He made some terrific throws. I thought he managed the game well overall. I think, and just to show people at home, I don't know. Can you see this? Can you see all the writing? So I did every play, and I made a critique on every damn play.
Yeah.
Just to show people I'm not just talking with hot air. But all this, here's the route, check plus. Another route, check plus. 14-yard run, check plus. Oh, 12-yard run, check plus. Oh, everything. And then the last drive of the game, just good throw, tight, good throw, great throw, sack. But big plays at the end of the game to put them in position. A lot of people complain they should have ran another play. And I'm not into that same category. He made some terrific throws to get them in position for that for that winning field goal. And why run the ball again for a yard or two? Because you know the defense is going to crush any run play. And well, he should have thrown it. What? After we've done all this work, he has played so well. The team is in position to kick a winning field goal, and you want to throw another pass? It could be tipped. It could be intercepted. There's so many things. They can't block anybody. He gets sacked. If I would have been the quarterback, I'd say, Coach, this is good. I did the best I could. Kick the damn game-winning field goal. So all the people that they did, they got to fire him. It was mismanaged at the end. What do they talk? How can you say that?
Well, I think everybody just wants Eberflus's head at this moment. So it really doesn't even matter. They're now, whatever mistake or issue that happens within the football game, if there's any angle to take to just have more evidence for them to get him fired, they're going to take it at the current moment, because nobody really liked it in the first place that he came back for this season anyway. So, he really is just he's running against that right now. And
look how close it is, though, Matt.
No, again. I know you're right. I mean, hey, and that's what's crazy about the NFL. You flip their overall record right now, which is 4-6, and they're a 6-4 football team. You feel completely different about them.
Yeah,
and you're right. Even if they're a 5-5 football team, if they win because they defend the Hail Mary properly, you're still feeling that much different about them, because despite how they struggled in that game offensively, they still found a way to win. That being said, the state is that they're 4-6, and really they just need to fight, and finish the year in a positive way to hopefully everyone kind of keep their positions the way that they are. The positive is that you're right. Caleb Williams played super confident. Mm-hmm. He trusted his instincts. Whatever, Coach Brown said during the week, it obviously was a refreshing take for everybody. The offense looked better. It performed at a high level. They ran the football efficiently. Caleb ran the ball as well as he's ever had in his NFL uniform, which is great. And it wasn't to run, to extend, to throw. When he saw open lanes, he just, hitch, go, and took off and ran, and knew that no one was covering him. So I thought just overall awareness for him was at an all-time high. As far as how he saw the field and how he just trusted his instincts and went. And for the most part, the Bears protected that much better than they did the week prior, with only giving up 3 sacks in this one. But it just seemed like it was a cleaner pocket more consistently for Caleb, and he did a better job of managing the pocket and making quicker decisions, both with his legs and with his eyes and arm.
Here's what he did. He grinded the game out.
Yeah.
Every play was another grind. By God, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
I really felt that watching him play. He was grinding. And then, the missed field goal, the block, the fact that they showed him on the sideline, his reaction, because I'm sure at that time he was empty. In other words, like going, damn, because mentally the game, to play the way he did, to really think through it, and then let his physical abilities show. Hey, and not to get rewarded with the victory, man, that's a lot to take when you did that. But here it is. Caleb, this is how you play every game. You got to grind them all out. You just can't, let's just play. That isn't how it works in the NFL. So it was a great lesson. I feel bad. Eberflus, I'm not into that group of people that says, oh, you should have done this and this, and you can't get what? So, okay, we gained 5 yards on a run. They're still going to block the damn field goal. So,
well, there is also the aspect too of just like, let's protect better in special teams, and let's just do our job. Right. Yeah. So, there's evidence for whatever party you're a part of with this situation. And that's the interesting part about it. And, the key was the team played well, tough division game against the team that's gone through those growing pains already and is now on the other side of them, and is, a little bit more prepared to win some of these games, I think, at the current moment. But good game for Caleb Williams. Got a really good bounce back game against a division rival. So a lot of positive things, I think, for the Chicago Bears fans to be excited about. We're going to go now to the next quarterback on Big Phil's list, and that is Bo Dacious. Bo Nix.
Listen, I know we've
yeah.
done him a couple times, but what do you say? I mean, the way he played the team and everything. I'm watching that too. That's what I love this job now, man. I love sitting at home on Sundays and watching all this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, let me write that down.
Yeah,
it really is a lot of fun. It's been awesome, but again, just his presence on the field, and of course, I'm not going to overdo it, but the numbers, I'll let you read the numbers. I don't want to put my glasses back on, but they were terrific.
Yeah,
and so many big time throws. And I've already said all this, so I'm not going to rehash it. But the offense they're running, the design of that offense, you tell me coaching's not a big part in the NFL. Hell, it's huge. Mm-hmm. And Sean Payton, once again, is proving that think of that team last year and where they had to grind out a first down. And you're like, wow, okay, they're moving big time.
Yeah.
And what they're doing now, it's an assault. I would say watching them on offense is the biggest assault right now in the NFL. Not that it's always going to work, but they're going for it. They're Bryson DeChambeau, 300-yard drive. Well, hell, I can hit it 350. That ain't good enough. Then they just keep going forward.
Right.
And that's what I see. And Bo Nix, damn, whatever supplements he's taking, I'm going to start taking them. Because he seems to get bigger and stronger every week as I watch him play. And I know, you made fun of it that when Sean Payton did that press conference, it says, well, who is it? We got to get a little of that Ferris Bueller out of him.
Yeah.
But man, they're on a roll, I think, is just as far as their play on both sides of the ball. And we keep focusing on the offense, but the defense has been spectacular. And Sean Payton, once again, doing his thing.
And the cool thing, right, that we have highlighted about Bo Nix in the past is this isn't a rookie offense that he's running. No. This dude is running like I think a 5-year, 10-year NFL vet type of offense to what they're doing. It's not like they're shying away from let's keep the recipe simple for our young quarterback. No, they're throwing everything at him. And what's amazing is that, the struggles there early on are the Ferris Bueller moments, right, that Payton was talking about. But one, you saw the fight and grit and the toughness of Bo Nix to go back at him and not back down for a minute. And, those are like those moments where it's a good thing. It caused good discussions to have behind the scenes, right? To know that your quarterback is that fiery and is going to defend himself from what he's doing. And in this game, 28 of 33, 307 yards, 4 TDs, absolutely diced up the Falcons, it seemed like, in every situation. Another player to highlight, too, that I think is not getting enough credit to, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be the first one to get this, but every time I watch the game, I notice him. And your son, my brother, did it actually, I think on his show, maybe the day before, Nick Bonito. All right.
Yeah.
And he is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. It's a fact now. We've seen it enough. The system, okay, yeah, maybe it helps, but dude absolutely crushes on the edge so consistently. So Vance Joseph, that defense, matching, like you've always said, that complementary football with what Sean Payton does on the other side. Great. It is an all-out assault on opposing teams. And they were the better team against Kansas City. They got absolutely rocked by the Ravens because of a few snafus early in that football game. 1-score game to Los Angeles that they lost. 1-score game to Pittsburgh. 1-score game to Seattle. So, like, this football team, they are up and coming, just like the Chargers in their division. And I'm telling you, it's going to get harder and harder for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to hold on in control of division, because there's some young cats coming and some hungry coaches that have had both of their teams, the Broncos and the Chargers, playing some really good football right now. And Bo Nix really showed out again. And hey, it was all Jayden Daniels early to start the year, but right now, if Jayden Daniels and Bo Nix were both trending stocks, right, in the stocks in the stock market, Bo Nix is trending up and Jayden's kind of flattening out recently with how he's performed. And it's part of it. He's played the Ravens, he's played the Steelers. That's no easy defenses to go against, but still, the Bo Nix stock is absolutely rising here midway through the year, and it doesn't seem to be slowing up considering how well they've played.
Let me say a few things. One, rookie quarterbacks physically, can you withstand the NFL grind?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is what? It's really the mental part, because you win the game, you play great, you come in Monday, they go, good game. All right, here we go. Let's start next week.
That's right.
It's just here, you got to learn, got to do this, got to practice. And then no matter what, when the game is over, you can't even sit back and think about it too much, because it's right to work again really the following day.
No
so
doubt.
That's one thing. I love what you said. I haven't thought of this. I'll steal it when I do the other interviews the rest of this week. The Denver Broncos have matched their offense with their defense.
Yeah.
I love that fact. It's explosive on one side, and Vance Joseph, damn, he's letting it go. Let's go get the quarterback and attack the other offense.
Yeah.
And so that was great. And the other thing is, too, you and I've never said it. We haven't talked about this, but looking back to preseason football, everybody plays it so vanilla that you and I kind of griped about it a little bit. But one coach that did not play it vanilla,
that's right.
That was Sean Payton.
I'm
sure they game planned. As I watched their first couple preseason games, I think he game planned for all three quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And they get in there and they all played well. And he gave Bo Nix plenty of throws, like it would really be in a big game. How else are you going to get ready? Go out there and play it really safe and throw two screens and a slant. Okay, we got a lot of work. Get out. No, man, they were firing that thing and playing all out. And he had to get a rookie quarterback ready, and he did that. And he didn't back off once it was a little testy there early in the season. Mm-hmm. Wasn't going well for Bo Nix or the team, but they stayed with it, and look what we got now. So just wanted to bring those two things up.
And we see this every year too. We're just like teams that start hot, fizzle out. Teams that start slow, get hot, right? And this is one of those teams where started slow, but they're getting hot. They're getting hot at the right time. They play the Raiders this weekend. They follow that up with the Browns, then the Colts, and then they come back into the division against the Chargers. So a lot of winnable football games for them where they match up very well against those football teams because of what they do. And I mean, if they're flying high like they were offensively this weekend, that's where even the Vance Joseph defense comes more into effect, because now you have all those different blitz looks and those multiple fronts that they have, and you're going to ask your quarterback to drop back and keep pace with that offense. That's a recipe for disaster for opposing football teams. So that is a great weapon that they've had. And at this time too, like, it's no fluke. Denver's defense is legit. Yeah. They are a problem, and they are one of those teams where, like, if you have to play them in the wild card, it's not exactly the most exciting matchup that you'll have. Hey, Denver, Bo Nix playing awesome. All right, now. Yeah.
Well, the last thing is, Matt, and they got great uniforms. I mean, hell, they must stand and get the uniform on and go, man, I look pretty good today. Let's go.
They do have cool uniforms.
All
I like
their
them a lot.
uniforms are awesome. And every one they wear, I go, wow, that looks good. Man, and you know how players are, man, it looks good. I feel good. Let's play.
I do like their combinations. I do. I think them and the Houston Texans, I like that they've kind of switched up and add a little bit more different looks to their uniforms week in and week out, which I think are fun. But I agree.
Pretty cool.
I do like Denver and what they're doing. All right, so now we're going to go to
what?
Drake Maye.
Oh, okay.
Big Phil wants to show Drake Maye some love. Drake Maye
he just once again I mean, hell, we got to talk about these guys almost every week. It seems like it's really great.
Well, let's do it.
We got these young quarterbacks all going out there and just getting it done. And it's fun to watch. Drake Maye, I just kind of said it to you. Let's just give a shout out. Another putting up some numbers, making rocket throws. And, I wasn't super high on Drake Maye as a high draft pick, but, I can eat that. I don't care. Good for him. And he has it. And tell me, Matt, it's just when you see him on the field, it looks like he belongs. His presence, whatever, his throwing, he looks big, he looks strong, he can run well enough that can be a factor as time goes along. And Alex Van Pelt. Van Pelt was in Cleveland last year,
right,
where it was bombs away. And what he's done with Drake Maye, that's what they're giving that to him. Some downfield throws, because that you and I have talked about it many times. That's I think his greatest attribute is
Absolutely.
that he can throw 30 and 40-yard passes like a lot of guys throw the 10-yard or whatever. So I just wanted to mention it, let him know we're watching, and boy, he's been impressive.
No, you're right. And Alex Van Pelt, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit to what they're doing and how, despite being a 3-8 football team, still making this team even that much more competitive, bringing along this rookie quarterback. Ton of credit goes out to him and obviously Drake Maye to himself too, because the way that he looked in the preseason compared to what he looks like now, it is absolutely night and day.
Unbelievable.
We hear, these things on TV. We're like, oh, he's got to clean up his footwork. Well, I'll just say this. His rhythm of the way that he drops back and he moves through his reads with his feet and with his rhythm of throwing is so much more improved than what it was. We're not seeing him, all contorted and twisted up with his feet, trying to throw across his body when someone's open. He's really lined up in a great way. So his swing is matching everything that he's doing like a great golfer. And, that's what's exciting, man, is that he really has improved leaps and bounds from even just this preseason, where Bo, we kind of saw in the preseason, man, there's a lot to like. It's looking good. Drake, TV people were like trying to, look at this play. And it was like, it was the only play that he made in the preseason. But okay, I see it too. But he has really done a great job, I think, of being coached well at this high level. And Van Pelt deserves all that credit. And then really, you're right. He has doubled down. This is what this young man does well. We're going to do it as much as we possibly can to help him. And as he does that and gains confidence, well, he's going to start to improve the other things too.
Hey, listen, Alex Van Pelt, he did a good job in Cleveland. He's doing up there in New England. He's a pretty good quarterback himself. Not that he had great success, but he could throw that damn thing. I know that. And so I'm sure he looked at Drake Maye and go, I like him. Because, throwers like throwers. And
that's right.
So that's one thing. And then, if I have to hear this, especially when it comes around draft time, boom, boom, boom. He's got to work his footwork. And I want to, what? Tell me what you mean by, well, he's got to work on his footwork. It's like a phrase that's thrown out there that just encompasses everything. And, we hear it every year, and I have to listen to it and just go, it's such a cliche and it's such crap.
Well, I hope I explained it in a way that doesn't.
Well, you did. Yeah, you made it fit.
Piss you off.
No, but you know what I mean. Is there? He's got to work on his footwork a little. And okay. Tell me.
Well, the one thing that we saw from Drake early on is that his shoulders would be this way, his feet would be the opposite direction. He'd still try to throw it down the field. And those are the things. He's starting to actually get his whole body in alignment with where he's throwing, and by doing those things, right, he's being more successful. So we've cleared that up. Let's keep it moving, though. Enough about Drake Maye. Great job. All right. Win more games. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to the New Orleans Saints. Big Phil he's got to talk about Taysom Hill. We
got to throw him some, we got to give him a little credit. Throw him a bone, man.
Hey,
Taysom Hill.
7 carries, 138, 3 TDs. He had a long of 75. He threw a pass for 18 yards, but he threw a pick also. But Taysom Hill,
everything, the pick. Well,
hey, we gotta kick him a little bit, But him and Alvin Kamara basically totaling for almost 200 yards on the ground for the New Orleans Saints in this football game against the Cleveland Browns, and the Jameis Winston return there to New Orleans. Taysom Hill, a man on a mission.
Well, where's he been? Where's he been though? It's like Darren Rizzi takes over, and all of a sudden, there he is. He came back. Darren Rizzi. We know him well up here. Rutgers, Rhode Island. One of the greatest joke tellers there is in history. I mean, he can, when you meet Darren Rizzi, the first thing he does, he's got to tell you 4 jokes before you get into the conversation. And
Jersey guy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was just really cool to see him win, to see Darren Rizzi as a head coach, and to see Taysom Hill back in that offense. And it is a great mix. Not many guys could do what he does. Derek Carr does a great job of taking it, handling it. Not a big deal. Drew Brees did it. And it worked. In New Orleans, the change at coach has given them life. And I'm sure the message is a little different from Darren Rizzi. So I'm not against Dennis Allen here, but it's just different. It kind of gives the team a little more energy, like, okay, and they got a chance, especially in the division they're playing in. So we'll see how it carries out. We'll see if Taysom Hill can have a few more games like he had this past week.
And it is really interesting. It just seems like when there are these firings midway through the year, right, at position coaches, coordinators, head coaches, it does seem like for whatever reason there is that week or two time frame that everything does get a little bit better, right? And typically for the bad football teams, it kind of goes back eventually, but there is kind of that relief of just, it might not have been the message, but the messenger, right, at times, and it maybe just got a little long-winded in some cases, and the players just needed kind of like a jump start in a way, right? And it's also, I think, another reminder too of just like, well, damn, if they got rid of him, that means that I'm probably not that far off too, either from the chopping block if I don't play better. So, I think just all those things are kind of like natural and part of the psychology of just, the game, right? And why we see that. That's why Jeff Saturday going from ESPN broadcast booth to then winning a football game that Sunday, he got the win in his first start ever. And, then eventually they became the Colts again. But still, like for that one moment, it was refreshing. But credit to Taysom Hill doing what he does well, which is everything. And it's just amazing how fast and explosive and strong he is. That's another guy's diet plan that you should be paying attention to, Big Phil.
No, it's too strict. I got to eat more food than whatever. He's a great chick. But now as I look at all the games, I'm gonna look at New Orleans different to see if this thing's going to keep going, and I'm very anxious to see. So this Sunday, when I'm sitting in front of the TV and watching all the games, let me check New Orleans out. Let me get my computer. How they doing? Yeah, because it brings more interest from people like us, but the fans. They're a little more excited after 2 victories in a row. So it's going to be fun to follow. Who do we got next?
For sure. All right. So now, big guy, we got to talk about 2 QBs that are going head to head this weekend in a really big in division matchup. The Arizona Cardinals are going up to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. But before we kind of get into that match specifically, let's talk about Geno Smith and what Geno was able to do against the San Francisco 49ers. And more interestingly enough, late when it mattered most, Geno Smith really just put the damn team on his back and got it done. What'd you think about Geno Smith and his performance against the Niners on the road there?
Well, I liked it a lot. I mean, he in the winning drive, I wrote it down play by play. I won't go through all of them. I think it was 9 plays. It was 10. So I'll go first to this, the touchdown run.
Yeah.
What he did in that, it was all spontaneous. He felt it, he ran. But he dropped back and was reading the pass play, and it was to the right. And it made, I forgot. I should have written it down. The linebacker and safety, they moved just enough to their left, to his right. When he broke the pocket left, there was nobody there.
Yeah. But Geno, a very underrated athlete and very good runner that, I think sometimes we forget about because we see him more as like a pure pocket passer.
Which he is.
But he can move and scramble for big time runs.
Yeah. And again, and it's one of these, when I say this all the time, because I do a lot of interviews with people and talk quarterbacks, and I always talk pretty good and maybe even better than it about Geno Smith. And I can hear the other, not that nobody disagrees, but I can hear we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah, the hesitation, right?
They should, I heard it again on TV.
Well, they're still stuck on the Jets-Giants stint that he
They'll never get over it.
They'll never get over it. But the fact is that he is a baller, and he is making chicken salad out of chicken doo-doo a lot more in Seattle than people give it credit for. Seattle can't run the football for damn, right? Everyone keeps thinking that Kenneth Walker, he gets hit all the time.
Oh my God.
Finally, they have found a way recently to get Jackson Smith-Njigba into the play calling, which is nice because all we kept hearing about is how great these Ohio State receivers are. And yet every weekend I never see Jackson Smith involved in the play calls at all. But recently they have. So that's been exciting to see him. He went 10 for 110 in this football game. He was targeted 11 times. So it's accurate, and he's catching the damn ball, which is important. DK was 7 for 70 in this one. But you're right. I mean, Geno just they won't get over the narrative, just the same way with Sam Darnold, right? Yeah. Like, oh, you see Sam Darnold, he's going back to the way he was with the Jets.
Okay. Interception, here it comes.
Yeah.
And, they can't wait for the failure.
Yeah, same thing with Zach Wilson when he gets another opportunity. Meanwhile, the Jets were better with him at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But that's
there you go. Way to throw that out there. I like that.
I know. I had to.
But Geno, I heard it on TV today. The Seattle really made a mistake. They could have drafted a quarterback. Yeah, what pick did they have? It's all I keep hearing is they drafted who? What did they have a chance? And why would they? Whoever they drafted was not going to beat out Geno Smith. Please give it up, everybody.
Yeah.
This guy is good, size, mobile, can stripe it with everybody. And I'm going to tell you, on this
tough as hell. Yeah.
And on that winning drive, he threw a couple passes I just wrote down. Wow. He ripped it in there just to get it to the receiver before the defender knocked it down.
Yeah.
Got sacked in the game-winning drive, too. Got blitzed. Everything about it. He answered the bell. Fred Warner, that's who I was wanting to talk about. He looked it off, and Fred Warner went to the wrong way and allowed Geno to score. But, hey, I'm sorry. Sometimes there's a group of guys out there, no matter what they do, they're never going to get the credit they deserve. And Geno Smith is a top-tier starting NFL quarterback. And if you don't believe it, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he's showing us.
Well, no, then you just can't help yourself. You just want to hate on him for no reason.
We're in year 3.
You're not watching the game, And the coolest thing too, and this is why I love Geno. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I texted him and said, "Hey, you're a great." This was after the loss the week before. I said, "Hey, you're a great QB. Keep playing confident. You overcame the mistakes with some unbelievable throws. You're a baller. You the man." He goes, "You already know. Good to hear from you, Matt." And I was like, "Love you, bro. Always watching. Play well. Loving every minute." He goes, "Love you, bro. Watch these next 8 weeks." So that just tells you right there, though, too, that even though it was getting tough, like you mentioned earlier in the show, for Anthony Richardson, for Caleb Williams, for these young QBs, you could feel it in that text, but he is excited to just go back to work and get after it again, despite how ugly it was in previous weeks. And that's what it takes to be an NFL pro right there. So just didn't bat an eye.
I think he's, grown so much and all that. He is truly a leader of the team.
Right.
And, you can see the way he acts. I can see the interaction with coaches and the players. And, that's a big thing that he has done. He's turned in. He didn't have that when you were with the Jets. He hadn't grown into that. But he is absolutely – I thought he started to change when he was with the New York Giants. The Giants noticed it. They were like, wow, this guy's got talent. Then he goes to the Chargers. Never really got a chance. But then he goes to Seattle. And I'll never forget Pete Carroll, the year he had to, when he was a starter, Pete Carroll goes, "Hey, man, I've been watching this guy in practice for a couple of years. And wow.
Yeah.
And he has delivered that and showed it to the field. So I'll just good for Geno Smith. But go ahead. Who they got matched up against? Give us a quick thought about the game real quick.
Yeah, so now, all right, we have this weekend the Arizona Cardinals versus Seattle Seahawks. If the Seahawks win this football game and the Rams lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, who the Rams are home against the Eagles, if they lose, the Seahawks are now in first place in the division, which is pretty interesting considering just how this division is playing out at the moment. Right. And this is going to be a really fun one. So the division right now, it's wild. Arizona 6-4, Los Angeles Rams 5-5, Seattle Seahawks 5-5, San Francisco 49ers also 5-5. But the key is the Arizona 4-2 at home, right? They're splitting on the road right now. And Seattle is the opposite. They play it better when they're away than they do when they're home. So we'll see which one gives here. Seattle has kind of owned that matchup of late. I want to say winning 5 out of the last 6 or something like that with the division play. Totally different team. You're right. And this was a really cool stat too. So when James Conner, when he has 100+ scrimmage yards, this team is 5-1. 5-1. When he does not, they are 1-3. So, mental note, hand the football off to James Conner as much as you possibly can. And that's really the recipe for success for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals at the current moment, right? You got a superstar in Marvin Harrison. I said to Bob Papa early on with SiriusXM today we did the show. I said Trey McBride's the best tight end in the NFL. All right. Yeah. But he fought me back on that because he's like, Matt, he doesn't even have a touchdown reception this year. I was like, I don't give a damn. All right.
You got to watch him.
He is a freak. It's unbelievable how good this guy is. Just ask Sauce Gardner what it's like covering him. It was unbelievable what he's done. And really the key is that like Trey McBride, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, they're just the role players to an offense that is built around the offensive line and James Conner being physical and winning consistently at the line of scrimmage.
Well, here we go. On Wednesdays, I always get the sheet. And I want to put all the numbers, what few numbers I do. But Seattle, their defense, let's see, 27th against the run. So it doesn't matter what you're ranked or rated or whatever on the defensive side. Arizona's going to honk it in there.
Right.
And we've seen that. 3 running backs, kind of like them all. They give them all just enough. But it's about James Conner, his attitude, the offensive line, Kyler Murray buying into everything, man. He looks like a totally different quarterback. Again, one of those guys that's grown into the job and he knows what it's about.
And this is what's great too. He's not the focal point of the offense anymore.
No,
so now he is able to shine a little bit more. He's under center more than he's ever been in his career too. They're actually doing different looks at the line of scrimmage than they had in the past, which I think is refreshing. It gives him a mental break from the game. He also averages 8 yards a carry when he does carry the football. So when he does have the opportunities to carry the football, they're for big explosive plays, but it isn't all about Kyler, which I think is the biggest part of this. And now we're able to see the special aspects of Kyler when it is needed for big plays in the game.
Hey, man, listen, got to give the head coach a lot of credit.
No doubt.
He's, I love it. I understand the word. You do too, the culture. But, he's got control of the team. And he kind of just kept grinding on him a little here. And, and like I've said a couple times to you and on a podcast, that it kind of fell at the end of last year. Well, they weren't used to grinding it out. Now they toughen them up. They know what to expect. I'm sure every week it's like, let's go. Here we go. And they're giving them really good game plans. And I give the head coach a lot of credit for doing that to the team. And they look different. They're playing different. And it's going to be another game. Can't wait to really get a chance to check in with that. It's not many people are going to notice that or say, oh, I got to wait and see Arizona and Seattle. That doesn't. No,
I mean, this is like
be under the radar.
I said this with Bob earlier. I'm like, this is a game that, for real NFL fans out there that are trying to watch really good football and to kind of see which team is going to emerge out of their division as the top team. This is a must watch. This is a must watch to see because both of these teams really can take control, especially Arizona being 2-0 already in the division. If they can win this game on the road with already a victory on the road against the San Francisco 49ers this year, that is a huge sign of improvement and growth for this franchise. And all things trending again in the right direction for the Cardinal fan base to be excited about.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, last thing.
Yes, go.
I'll do it. Just got to talk about that Steeler defense a little bit.
All right.
Again, I did my whole thing with them. Let me just go through the whole damn game, every play. And I just came after about a quarter and a half. I said, I got it. I'm going to quit this writing everything. But it was so simple what they did on the defensive side. It's like they know how to play the Baltimore Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson never got even close to getting into rhythm in the game to, like where you thought, man, they got it going. They can't stop it. No.
Yeah.
The speed of the Steelers defense, the fact that they just got some high impact players, no doubt. And, listen, you think they're not happy? They picked up Patrick Queen from the Ravens. Oh my God. He was trying to kill people. He said, I'll show you guys, whatever. but they covered him, man. It was either blitz with the extra guy, which seemed to always, and they did a great job of not losing their lane. And they didn't get behind Lamar to let him go forward. They had him going back most of the day. So that was one thing. And then they played zone, and he would complete passes. But the big thing again with the Steelers, they're great tacklers. You know, when you have discipline, toughness, coached by Mike Tomlin, all that, and you got speed, you're going to be a good tackling team. And I would say that was the number one thing, what really won the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And just, you know, an amazing play by Peyton Wilson with the interception, you know, a guy too that a lot of people had as the number one linebacker in last year's draft class, but because of injuries fell in the draft. Well, he finds his way to, you know, arguably the best franchise ever as far as history of linebackers. So, I mean, that's just the football gods looking out for you, right? And, you know, he's been awesome. And to play now him alongside Patrick Queen, who you're like, what Patrick Queen has done in the past few weeks, even going to the Washington game, and how fast and how quick he was able to tackle Jayden Daniels in some of those scrambles. First of all, that was like a, whoa, Jayden Daniels, like, these linebackers can move. But, you know, Patrick Queen, 10 tackles, 3 solo. He had a tackle for a loss, but it's the way that the speed and the way that he dissects plays, just like a Fred Warner. It's just unbelievable how quickly he is able to diagnose what is happening and disrupt things near at the line of scrimmage too. And he could do it all, right? TJ Watt was awesome. It's amazing too.
He's
like,
unbelievable.
You know, even he was unblocked in the play, but even seeing just how hard he hit Derrick Henry on that one inside zone play. Yes. I don't know how they didn't block him. I'm not sure why we're not blocking TJ Watt on an inside zone left concept, but still, they unblocked him, but he still hit Derrick Henry so damn hard. It was impressive. And I mean, the Steelers defense is legit. You thought a year ago that it was a Super Bowl caliber type of defense. Again, it seems to be proving true to that same sentiment, and even more so now that they actually have a little bit more balance on the offensive side of the football. Yeah,
that, and, you know, Patrick Queen, just to go back, he went to Baltimore. Yeah. And I'm saying it wrong. He was there. Yeah. But Roquan Smith coming and being a different guy, a guy that already kind of had been tested in the NFL and was really showing. And Patrick Queen goes, oh, this is how you play linebacker. Yeah. And I really think he learned from, I thought it changed him. I saw it, you know, as I watched their tapes over the year and everything like that. I could see the difference in Patrick Queen. And I think I've just said this many times, but when they played that championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I thought he was the best player on the field for the Baltimore Ravens without question. Right. I mean, he was a man on a mission. I mean, he was trying to just knock everybody out. So, and, you know, it's really good to see him in Pittsburgh. Like you said, they got a history of great linebackers. Yeah. And they're keeping it going with that the crew they got right now. So
and 2 other people too. Of course, we always hear Cameron Hayward's name, mentioned a lot too, and just his importance and his veteran leadership too. But Larry Ogunjobi too is another football player. With him just kind of mixing it up there in the middle. They just do a great job, as you would say, big guy. They love dragging people into the mud with them and making the game as ugly as hell. And this was another sign of it too. You know, the Ravens, that's their one thing that I feel like they haven't quite figured out the success of how to survive those type of games yet. Kansas City did that to them a year ago. The Steelers do it to them last week. Now, hey, Justin Tucker, one of the greatest kickers of all time, misses 2 field goals. But he's having an off year. So that is one of those situations where it's like, oddly enough, that is not one of your strong suits of your football team where it has been in the past. But the Ravens, struggle to find ways to win in some of these ugly football games that they find themselves in, especially with the Steelers and with the Kansas City Chiefs. So the good thing for them is it was the regular season. They're a 7-4 football team. They're still a Super Bowl caliber football team, but we'll see what their recipe is for success for those recipe. That's my word of the day it seems like. But that's clearly something that they kind of have to think about going forward is what can they do to get out of some of those tougher games that they have. All right, Big Phil, any more thoughts you got?
No, that's enough.
All right.
I'm done. You know, no, it was great though. We got a little defense. We got a running quarterback. We got some quarterback play. We talked about a game. That'll do me for tonight. I'll find some more things tomorrow to talk about.
Yes, and we will eventually start doing a few breakdowns of the college quarterbacks that are coming out this year.
Right.
So I really look forward to sharing with you guys some of the film work that I've done with Shedeur Sanders all year, with Carson Beck, and a few others. And really, those will be the two that we start with because I think those are the two main to kind of start the whole process. Anyway, we'll work our way through the rest of them, but really look forward to that. Go ahead, Big Phil.
Oh, yeah, I got to say it since you see the Tennessee helmet behind you. That Georgia game in Tennessee, that was about this close from pro football. They were killing each other.
They were.
You know, oh, man. And I'll tell you.
I was pissed. I was pissed, though, about some people, you know, like, oh, Georgia demolishes Tennessee. I'm pissed, man, because when you watch the film, that is not the truth, but that's just me.
My God, how could then, you know, whatever. We can't control everybody. We try. Carson Beck, here we go. Man, can he throw that damn ball?
Yeah.
And he was letting it go. And it's you know, he can drive it. It has spin. He has touch. And you know what I really liked about him in the game, which I haven't seen probably ever from him. He played with emotion. He ran the football more and moved around. You can tell he's a pretty dang good athlete. It looks like he can run. But I didn't know that until I just never have seen him just, let's go, play, quit trying to, I don't know if he's the guy that tries to be perfect or what, but man, he made so many high-quality throws in the game. Some I just go, hey, I don't know about that decision. It was a great throw, and he caught it. But, man, you can't make a living making that play.
Yeah.
But overall,
he's got more drops than any other quarterback in the country, too, this year.
And it is a downfield throwing offense.
And it showed again in this game, too. They had 4 drops in this one, 4 big ones that were very well-thrown footballs. One was a go to start the game on the left sideline. Another one was a seam right down the middle where the Tennessee safety just smacked the tight end so hard he dropped it. But still, you know, dude is super talented. Mike Bobo, offensive coordinator for Georgia, definitely called the best game of his career against Tennessee. So that really hurt my feelings because I thought that was one of the advantages that we had in that football game was our defensive front in that one. But hey, we're doing too much already. Well, hey, let's just do it, man. Should we just keep talking about Carson Beck? And then
No, let it go. Because you know what? I did one game. It's the first time I said, let me just watch that game again on tape. And I did. And it just was even better than it looked on TV, which that's, you know, so just bring it up. But now I'm going to follow him a little closer. And I think this coming week and maybe even tomorrow, because I'm ahead of schedule here, maybe I'll watch Shedeur Sanders and just kind of get a feel for him a little more than just watching what I see on TV. So
yeah, for sure. Well,
you know,
the good thing is that both of them got a ton of reps. They've played a lot of football.
Yeah.
You know, Shedeur, a little bit more of an open style there in the Big 12, whereas, you know, Carson Beck and all that, he's going against a ton of NFL football players each and every weekend in the most difficult division in all of football. Sorry, Big Ten fans, but it's the facts. You know, hey, we'll be back with more on Sims Complete. Thank you to Bet Online. Remember, go to Bet Online for all your favorite odds and matchups all over with every sport. I'm Matt Sims. He's Phil Sims. We'll be back with more next week. This is Sims Complete. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll see you next week.
That's it.